Hi guys, welcome to today's tutorial with Excel Boosts. Today's tutorial we're going to cover the if function. So we're going to go through the simple if function and the nested if function, where you can combine the if and or functions together. So our data is columns A to E, so it's just a small simple set of data just to guide you through the several examples we're going to go through today. So we've got the employee name, location, the age of the employee, the gender, and the salary. So with the if function, you can actually give several criterias or scenarios, and if it's true, it would give you a certain result, and if it's false, you can let the function know what you would like it to return, whether it's false or blank or another text. So we're going to get started with the simple if function in column F. So if the employee salary is greater than 50,000, then I want the function to return high salary. So we're just going to start off with the equal sign and then put the if. So that starts our if function. And the first part of the if function is the logical test. So our logical test is whether the employee's salary is greater than 50,000 or not. So we're going to select the cell which indicates the salary, which is E9, and then we're going to put the greater sign. So if that is greater than 50,000, so just type your number, 50,000, then we've finished our logical test. So now we're going to put a comma, and if the value is true, this is the next section in the if function. If the value is true, I want to return high salary. So with any text, you should always open quotation marks, but with numbers, as we did the 50,000, you don't need to do quotation marks unless the number is actually a text where you're not referring to a number. So if the value is true, I open quotation mark, I put high salary. And if the value is false, so if the employee earns less than 50,000, I want the formula to return false, for example. And then we're simply going to just close our bracket and hit enter. So for the first employee, Amy, it's indicating false because her salary is 30,000, which is less than 50,000. We're just going to drag this formula down to row 20, and we've got 4 employees with a high salary. So with a salary greater than 50,000. So that is our simple if function. Just going to remove the borders from this. So our second example is where you can combine 2 simple if functions to state more than 2 indicators. So we're going to start off by finding out if the employee's salary is greater than 60,000, then I want the return to be high salary. And if the employee's salary is less than 40,000, then I want it to indicate low salary, and anything else, so if false, I want it to return mid-range salary. So again, equal sign if. So our first if statement will be if the employee's salary is greater than 60,000. So I'm going to go to E9, which is the salary column again. So if that is greater than 60,000, we're going to put comma. So value if true. If it's greater than 60,000, then put high salary. Now, because we have 2 more scenarios we want to go through, we're going to do comma, and if it's false, I want it to go to another if statement. So this is what we call a nested if statement. So, more than one statement within each other. So I'm going to just type if again. And the second logical test is if the salary is less than 40,000. So again, go to E9 and hit the less sign and type 40,000. So if this is less than 40,000, then return low salary. So comma, low salary. And our third part of the question is if it's false, then return mid-range salary. So anybody's salary which isn't greater than 60,000 and isn't less than 40,000. So anything in between, it would return mid-range salary. We're going to close our bracket and hit enter. So it's indicating something is wrong with my formula. Okay, because I didn't close the quotation mark. So this is actually a good example to understand why the functions are returning an error. So in this scenario, because I put a text and I didn't close the second quotation mark, it indicated the error. But now I could actually close my second bracket and hit enter. So I'm just going to drag down the formula to the remaining employees. And now we've got a result for every employee. So anybody's salary which is less than 40,000 returns low salary. Anybody's salary which is greater than 60,000 returns high salary. As we can tell, Harvey and Emma earn more than 60. And anybody in between is mid-range salary. So anything between 40 to 60,000. So that is our nested if function, but it's a simple one because we've put two if statements together to go through three scenarios. So we're now going to put and within the if statement. So if the employee's salary is greater than 60,000 and, so this is the second condition, and location is Liverpool, then return Liverpool high salary. So we're just going to get started, equals if. So because it's an if and an and statement together, we're going to equals if and then type and as well. So it opens up both the functions. And the logical is if the salary, so if E9 is greater than 60,000, so that is our first condition. So if the person's salary is greater than 60,000. Now my second and logical would be our second condition. So if the location is Liverpool, so we're just going to go to location, which is cell B9, and if that equals Liverpool. So because this is a text, we're going to open quotation marks, type Liverpool, close quotation marks, and close bracket. So if this logical test is true, then I'm going to put a comma. If it's true, then return Liverpool high salary. So we're going to open quotation mark, Liverpool high salary. Close quotation mark, let's not forget it this time. So comma, and if this scenario is false, so if the person doesn't earn more than 60,000 and doesn't live in Liverpool, then return false. You could actually type anything you want within this quotation mark. And if you want this cell to remain empty, let's just try remain empty. We're just going to open quotation mark and put another quotation mark after it. So this actually has no value. And then we're going to close bracket, hit enter. So in this case, it's actually returning a blank for anybody that doesn't meet that criteria. We could actually change this to false. So just go back to your formula bar, type false, and drag that down. So there's actually only one person that meets the two and criterias. So Harvey earns more than 60,000 and he lives in Liverpool. So that is the if and nested function. Our fourth example will be an if and an or. So we're using all three. So if the employee's salary is greater than 60,000 and location is Liverpool or location is London, then give me Liverpool and London high salary. That should actually be or. So Liverpool or London high salary. So let's get started. So equals if and. So if the person's salary is greater than 60,000, we're going to go to E9, greater than 60,000, and then comma. So the 60,000 is part of the and, so that is necessary for it to return our Liverpool or London high salary. Now the second part of the formula, and, we want the location to either be London or Liverpool. So one of them two criteria. So because it's you can choose whether it's London or Liverpool. We're going to then insert an OR function within the AND. So we're going to go to location equals London, and the second OR, so just put a comma, or Liverpool. So if these criteria are right, so just close the brackets for them, just so you can see the value if true. So this is always a good indicator where you are within writing the formula, and it indicates whether you need to close brackets or where you are within your formula structure. So if the value is true, I want it to return the following text: Liverpool or London, high salary. And if it's false, just return false. Close bracket, hit enter. So we're just going to drag this formula down and see who meets this criteria. So there's actually only 2 employees which meet this criteria, which is Emma and Harry. So they live in London and the salary is greater than 60,000. So as you can tell, nobody met the criteria where they live in Liverpool. So because it was a choice whether it's London or Liverpool, but the necessary part was the 60,000. So they had to earn more than 60,000. So our 5th example, we're going to use several AND statements, which is quite simple actually. So it's just the if and you can insert several AND conditions. So all the AND conditions will have to be met for the result to be true. So for this example, we're going to go through 3 AND statements. So if the employee's salary, so 3 AND conditions. So if the first condition is if their salary is greater than 60,000, the second condition, which has to be met, is if the location is Liverpool, and the third condition is if gender is male. So if all 3 conditions are met, I want it to return male Liverpool high salary. So this is just adding different, components of the data within your formula. So equals if, and we're going to open an AND. So the first logical is if the salary is greater than 60,000, go to E9 greater than 60,000. Your second AND condition is if location is Liverpool, so go to location equals, open quotation mark because it's text, Liverpool. And the third AND, so just a comma again, and go to gender. So go to column D9 and equals, so I want gender to equal male. So open quotation mark because it's text, close quotation mark. And now we've finished all our AND conditions. So we only had 3, but you can add as many as you want. Just keep adding commas and keep putting your criteria if that is what you're looking for. So because I'm done, I'm going to close the comma and close the bracket and put a comma. And now I'm in the value of true area as it's highlighted. So if true, I want it to return male Liverpool high salary. Close quotation marks. If it's false, give me false, or let's put error this time, error. Close brackets, hit enter. So there's actually only 1 person that meets all 3 criteria, which is Harvey again. So he's earning more than 60,000, his location is Liverpool, and his gender is male. Okay, so our last example, we're going to use the combination of the if and an or. So if the employee's location equals London or the employee's location equals Slough, then true. But, again, like the previous AND statement, you can put as many OR conditions as you want in this following statement. So equals if, open your OR statement. So if the location is London, so go to cell B9 equals London. And your second OR condition, so we're going to put a comma. Again, go to B9. If that equals to slough, close quotation mark. And because we've finished our OR conditions, we only have two, we're going to close the bracket. But as you can tell, you can put as many as you want. Just keep adding commas and add your OR statements. So we're going to put a comma. And now we're in the value if true section, part of the if statement. So if it's true, just return true. And if it's false, give me false. We're going to close our bracket and hit enter. So we've got several truths. So, it's always good to just double check your data. So we're just going to choose row 11, for example. And Martha, she lives in Slough, which is correct. So it's either London or Slough. Let's check a false. So Tom, he lives in Birmingham, so which is why it's returning false. So that is our if statements for today. We've gone through several examples where we've combined the two if statements. We've combined the if and we've combined if and or statements, and we've just done if and by itself and if and or. So depending on what you're looking for, you can just mix and match these different conditions and find out what you're looking for. Thanks a lot for listening to today's tutorial, and hopefully the material will be up soon on the website. Thanks guys, bye.